Welcome back to the sixth session of Art as Therapy. I'm Yoko. Today we'll be exploring the notion of self-awareness and how art making helps us to gain self-awareness. We will also learn how to make a self-portrait. Self-awareness is the awareness of various aspects of the self, including our personality, habits, motivation, or emotions. Being self-aware means that the self becomes the focus of attention. When we say that someone is highly self-aware, it means that he can examine himself objectively and align his thoughts, emotions, and behavior to his standards and values. He can also understand how others perceive him more precisely. Self-awareness is important as it helps us to understand ourselves. When we know our internal emotions, preferences, or mental states, we can make better decisions, actions, or reactions. We will also be able to relate better to others and build on our strengths to improve our lives. A good self-awareness will help to improve our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Before we explore this question, I would like to share my view that art is not and should not be used to diagnose or label people and their experiences. I think we should not adopt a literal or singular interpretation of art, such as interpreting an explosive volcano as anger, a rainbow or sunshine as happiness, or labeling a person who always creates dark images as depressive. To help us gain self-awareness, we have to understand the unique and intimate meaning of the art that only we hold true to ourselves. Some aspects of ourselves are easier to understand because they are more apparent. However, there are many more other information about the self which are not so easy to access because of the way our brain processes and stores them. Neuroscientists have revealed that our brain stores information, feelings, and experiences in 3 layers. The first layer is the conscious mind, which contains our thoughts, perceptions, and conscious awareness. This is just about 10% of our mind. The second is our subconscious mind, which stores memories and knowledge. This takes up about 50 to 60%. Lastly, the unconscious mind holds our fears, negative thoughts, and unpleasant memories and feelings. This takes up about 30 to 40% of our mind. Art making can be a vehicle to understand our unconscious mind. One of the reasons this is so is because unpleasant feelings or memories are stored under the form of sensations and visual images in our right brain. They are more difficult to process through words or reasoning, which are governed by our left brain. Because art making is a creative activity that is governed by our right brain, it helps us to access or retrieve information from our unconscious mind. Art making helps us to understand more of these unconscious feelings through images and the nonverbal process. To illustrate how art making can access our unconscious mind, let us explore the processes that take place while making a clay figure for play. Firstly, the sensory process. When we touch the clay and feel it, the senses we experience bring a deeper understanding of what is happening in the environment and within our body. This increased understanding can help us to act more effectively in different life situations. Secondly, intuition. As we make, we follow our gut feeling and become spontaneous in our creative expression. This helps us to stay closely attuned to our creative soul. By working with our intuition, the acts of creation will lead us to understand our own spirit. Thirdly, the materiality of objects. As the clay transforms from its original physical form into another form, we discover its material quality and existence that may resonate a certain aspect in our lives. These objects help us to see ourselves. Fourthly, the metaphoric or symbolic connections. As the process evolves and progresses, we begin to see images emerge as well. We are then able to make connections of its physical features to our personal experiences or ourselves, and look at it in a metaphorical way. For example, we may see that this little figure is a very hungry creature, awakened from the deep forest, coming to look for food. When we make analogies between creative expressions and our experiences, the images help us to see themes in our own lives. Fifthly, play. When we play with the figure, whether in the process or the finished product, we are offered many opportunities to imagine, experiment, or free play. A psychoanalyst, Dr. Donald Winnicott, says, "It is in play that we find our true selves." He explains that in play, our defenses relax and enable us to freely discover who and what we are about. Sixthly, pattern recognition. Let's imagine after some play, we continue to make some more figures and arrange them together. By arranging visual elements together, the art maker creates patterns and order, and can also recreate them into new configurations and relationships. These patterns are revealed in the image and/or the creative process. Recognizing these patterns helps us to gain insight of the patterns of our personality, thinking, or how we relate to self and others. Lastly, the aha moment. After we finish the artwork, slow down, look at it and contemplate with a moment of silence. You may have this aha moment when you feel like, I get it, or other ways that you have not thought before. It is a moment that you discover something from the artwork. This moment marks the beginning of a self-realization and gradually takes its place to help us understand ourselves. Most importantly, self-awareness depends on our focus of attention. It is only achieved when the self is placed in the focus of attention and the deep reflective process. So today the activity we are going to explore is this intuitive self-portrait. I hope this activity would help you to put the focus of attention to yourself, some aspects that you can look into yourself, like personality, thoughts, emotions, motivations, and so on. A self-portrait means representation of the self, usually focus on drawing the face or even the half body or the whole body. So today we are going to explore only drawing our face. I would suggest you to give a time to yourself, maybe get some photos or print out images of yourself. Take this opportunity to look at some experiences that you have. Remember all the good stories or challenges in life. Where are the places you've been to? What are the important memories in your life? Or even you can print out a recent photo of yourself. For me, I would like to encourage you to do this self-portrait with a present self. You can also get a mirror and look at yourself. It may be scary, it may be happy to look at yourself. Oftentimes we used to judge ourselves, so just spend this time to accept who you are, and then we can explore this activity. In this activity, we are going to explore drawing a self-portrait from a more figurative and representational form to a more intuitive and abstract form. So it is about the process itself that we are letting go of some preconceptions or thoughts or ideas about ourselves. Just let the process to lead us to a more spontaneous, intuitive way of seeing ourselves. First, I will try to look at myself into a mirror, not specifically thinking about anything about myself, but just pay your attention to look at the form, the shape, how your face look like, your hair, your hairstyle, and then your eyes, the form, the shape. There's no right or wrong again, and this is not about how good and how skillful you are to make a self-portrait. Just follow your feelings, and you can start with anywhere. Let's say I start with my hair. So I'll look at my hair, the outline of my hair. My pen will follow my eyes, what I see from the mirror. So I have finished the hair, and I'll continue with the outline of my face. Now I'll go to draw my eyebrows, and then my eyes. Just pay attention to your face, all the lines that you can identify on your face. So this is the first drawing of a self-portrait using a simple pen and drawing the simple outline by paying a lot of attention to your face, to yourself in the mirror. And after the first drawing, you are going to do the second one with the same method. But this time, because of the memory of drawing the first self-portrait, maybe you already know how your hair moves and how much is the spaces between the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and how big is your face. So let's loosen your pen, loosen your hand a little bit, and then try to focus more on the paper this time, whereas you can still look at the mirror. Okay? With this second method, I think I have spent more time in seeing what I'm drawing and also linking to my memory of my self-portraits. And I have paid less attention onto the image on the mirror. Maybe I'll number this drawing as second. And now let's go to the third one. Now, let's don't look at the mirror anymore, because you would have an impression or memory of how your face looked like. Now, let's just focus mainly on the paper and your memory about how your face looked like. This is the third drawing. I didn't look at my image in the mirror. This is purely from my memory. Now, let's go faster. As the drawing process progresses, the drawing is going towards your intuition and a spontaneous way to look at yourself and how you recognize yourself. For instance, is that smile important for you? Are those lines also significant? And lastly, let's try to really draw it very quickly. Don't think. And let your hands flow and move with you if you want to emphasize anything. So I have finished this activity drawing a self-portrait from a more representational way to a more intuitive way, focusing more on your mind, your thoughts, your memories, the feelings, and at last, it could be just the impression, and it can become your self-portrait. In these different self-portraits, you may also see different elements or qualities in them. So I hope this activity will help you to pay more attention to yourself and also be more aware of yourself. We have come to the end of today's session. To summarize, we have learned the notion of self-awareness, how art making helps us to gain self-awareness and create a self-portrait. I hope you will continue the journey of making art. See you next time.